Hello and welcome. In this tutorial, we are going to upgrade our clap switch program to only work with a double clap. At this moment, this clap switch, well, let me just show you. On, off, isn't responding only to claps. And I'm wondering if we can make this code work so that when I do this, the state of the light is going to change, and it won't change when I talk normally. So let's see what we can do. First things first, I'm looking at this code, and on a second look, I think that this while loop here is entirely redundant. This is how you would program inside Python, inside C, inside any other programming language, that your program doesn't happen inside a loop already. We are inside a loop. This loop is running forever. We could have just done a simple if-else statement instead of this whole while thing. So if we just did if LED on equals to 1, we're going to digital write LED high, and else we're going to write low. That's all it takes. Control T, and I believe that once I upload this, it still works. Excellent. So, time to brainstorm how exactly we can get this thing to work on a clap switch. Before I get started with that, do you see this if-else? The else only refers to this if. If and else, you can always think of them as a package. If-else. So this else has got nothing to do with this if here. So that said, let's get started. We are having this case here. If reading is bigger than 100, change the state. Well, what we're going to do instead is if reading is bigger than 100, we're going to delay. We're going to make a delay. We're going to make a delay, I don't know. I'm going to guess half a second. And then after half a second, if the reading is again greater than 100, we're going to take another reading. And then we're going to change the state. So LED on equals to not LED on. So this code is problematic, and it's problematic entirely because right here, this if here is inside a forever loop. So it checks thousands and thousands of times per second, whereas this this reading here, in fact, that should have been right before the if. This reading here is checked once. So checked thousands of times, checked once. But I'm pretty sure that we'll still be able to make this work. At least, like a quarter of the time. So I'm going to upload it and see what happens. Okay, that's way worse than a quarter of the time. Let's try it again. Okay, so that's an applause switch. That's pretty bad. So how do we fix this? Well, the answer is pretty simple. We just make sure we don't take one reading, we take, say, 1,000. So right here, we can do a for loop. For int I equals to 0. Okay. I is less than 1,000. And I plus plus. Open here. guess we can close that if there. So this loop is within that control T. So there we have it. That reading is inside this loop. We can take 1,000 readings, so we can delay 1 millisecond here. And once we get out, once the state changes, we can get out of the loop. Break. So let's try that out. Wow. And I'm going to talk normally right now. I'm going to do it for a minute, and I'm just going to watch that LED and see if it ever goes off. And it really looks like it will not. It won't. And we have solved our problem pretty well, pretty neatly. Oops. So you have to let a couple of seconds in between. I honestly think that is the best clap switch I have seen yet. It is literally 100% reliable. I'm very happy with this. You guys go ahead, build this, and maybe try it out. Try it out with an RGB LED, put in a motor or a servo or something else that's pretty exciting. Okay, I will see you in the next tutorial where we try to build a circuit that has essentially a response to the intensity of the sound, much like those sort of music bars that we have on stereos. See you then.